On Monday, a Tibetan activist, Jampa Yeshi, set himself on fire in the Indian capital of New Delhi. He was protesting against the Chinese leader Hu Jintao's upcoming visit to India later this week. Hu is scheduled to attend the two-day BRICS 2012 summit on Thursday. The incident happened when around 600 Tibetans gathered near the parliament building. Bystanders extinguished the flames. According to various foreign media reports, Yeshi was rushed to a hospital with severe burns and is believed to be in critical condition. Since March last year, more than 25 Buddhist monks, nuns, or other Tibetans in China have set themselves on fire to protest against the Chinese regime's oppressive rule in the Tibetan Autonomous Region. Most of the self-immolations occurred in China's Sichuan province. The Associated Press reported the latest self-immolation was the second one to take place in India. Last year, a Tibetan in exile set himself on fire outside the Chinese embassy.
It is indeed an American tragedy. Too often, this violent act that resulted in the murder of Trayvon Martin is repeated in the streets of our nation. I applaud the young people all across the land who are making a statement about hoodies, about the real hoodlums in this nation, particularly those who tread on our laws wearing official or quasi-official clothes. Racial profiling has to stop, Mr. Speaker. Just because someone wears a hoodie does not make them a hoodlum. The Bible teaches us, Mr. Speaker, in the book of Micah 6:6-8,
the member will suspend.
These words,
the member will
these words, he has shown you, O man,
the member will suspend.
Good,
the chair must remind members of Clause 5 of Rule 17.
You, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God.
Well, 1 week after noises and vibrations started waking and shaking residents, Clintonville experienced a fairly quiet night. Only 3 reports came in from Saturday night into Sunday morning. Residents and city leaders in the small Wapaka County city say they hear what sounds like underground explosions, sometimes followed by vibrations. The mystery first occurred late last Sunday and continued through the week. The United States Geological Survey concluded Thursday a 1.5 magnitude earthquake shook the town shortly after 5 a.m. Tuesday. And while there is an official cause in the book, some residents say it and the speculation of others isn't helping bring normalcy back to their town. Bill Miston has our Fox 11 follow-up.
There are several things the reported booming noises and vibrations have brought to the city of roughly 5,000 people over the past week. Confusion, national attention, and speculation.
Is geological and earthly occurrences.
Even after government geologists announced Thursday that a 1.5 magnitude earthquake struck the city early Tuesday.
You know, you get enough information, maybe we'll actually get some answers.
Residents like Joanne Christensen say it's not helping quiet residents' wild speculations of other causes.
Everybody's acting, you know, either like it's a hoax, or the people that are already here that know that it happened, they have no idea, they're very confused.
What's behind the small but continued reports of booming noises and vibrations since Tuesday's confirmed earthquake? Geophysicists say they're not sure either.
What they're experiencing now, the vibrations are additional quakes or not, we're going to try to locate as many as we can.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Wednesday, March 28th, 2012, and I'm Darko. My website is ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com, and ddarko2012 and ddarko2013, my YouTube channels. Please check out the headlines and links in YouTube's video description. Alright, I'm ready to go. I have a crap load of articles to get to, so please bear with me if I move fast. Fear of radiation from Fukushima accident led to psychiatric disorder hospitalization, so some 24% of people who were hospitalized in Fukushima with with psychiatric disorders in the wake of the outbreak of the crisis at the crippled Fukushima nuclear power plant had done so possibly because of fears of radiation exposure, according to results of research conducted by psychiatric. Tokyo's soil blanketed with Fukushima radiation would be considered radioactive waste in the United States, and it goes on and says that the entire region would be required to be posted as a radiological area. So they're not really getting the truth over there in Japan. Moving on here. Oh yeah, I just want to cover this real quick. GPS tracking disaster. Japanese tourists drive straight into the Pacific. And I only included this because it's how people are being, how do I put this? How they depend on these little gadgets so much that they'll literally, like that episode from The Office, where the dude just drives into the water and he knows he's heading into the water, but he does it anyways because his GPS is telling him to. So that's just a little indicator of how people are being conditioned, how far and deep it goes. U.S. could fly spy drones from Australia territory. So it says on Wednesday that said it may allow Washington to use its territory to operate long-range spy drones as part of an increased U.S. presence in the Asia-Pacific. And this is part of expanding the Asian trading bloc. You have the European trading bloc. You have the American trading bloc. They're working on the African trading bloc, and they're expanding towards Asia. So it says here, Tacocopter aims to deliver tacos using unmanned drone helicopters. And it goes on and basically says that the concept behind this Tacocopter is very simple and very American. Right? You order tacos on your smartphone and also beam in your GPS location information, as if your smartphone doesn't carry your GPS information. But this is for the slaves, right? Because they're supposed to be happy that there's drones all over in the sky, right? Your order and your location transmitted to an unmanned drone helicopter and then delivers your food. So, okay, moving on here, we have Pennsylvania student charged after taking traffic stop pics. Philadelphia police violated a college student's First Amendment rights by arresting him as he took photos of a traffic stop outside his home, a journalism advocacy group said on Monday. And it goes on here and it says that the police said that there was other things that happened that caused him to be arrested. Possibly you just looked at the pigs. So if you look at pigs and you don't even record them with audio or video, you could be arrested. See that, you can't make eye contact with they're not even really your masters because they're slaves. There's just as much slaves as the regular populace, but they're on a power trip, and many of them are just freaking nihilists. So they just don't like you. They hate you, they despise you, they hate themselves, they hate human race. So don't try to reason with them. But basically, it says here that one officer reportedly said, public domain, yeah, we heard that before. Police allegedly pushed, shoved, and threw Van Kuyk to the ground before handcuffing him, and I think they smashed the university's camera on the ground as well. He was just sitting on the porch and just got up, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just start shooting this then, because he had to get some night footage or something like that. Microchipped school uniforms notify parents when kids skip their brainwashing re-education session by the state to tell them to be good little slaves and good little consumers. It says here in Brazil, 20,000 grade school students have recently started wearing uniforms embedded with GPS chips similar to those used in pet trackers. So it just goes to show you how they see them as little animals, right? Little sheep, little cattle or chattel. Okay, moving on here. Kids all over America are being put on buses and sent to alternate locations during school drills. I've covered this many times before, where there's actually students that go into asthma attacks and have seizures and stuff like that, and sometimes the parents aren't even notified. So they're brought to alternate locations during these terror drills, often called evacuation drills or relocation drills. Sometimes they'll have like a Columbine school shooting scene, where they'll have a lone shooter, and that's the one where someone actually had a seizure and freaked out back in the UK. It says, but just putting kids on buses and taking them to other schools was not enough. During the drill, some students and school staff were instructed to pretend to be injured. In addition, parents were instructed not to call the school during the drill, and children were instructed not to call their parents. Impress upon your children the need to follow directions and take drills seriously. Yes, these students and parents should not communicate by cell phones during their drill emergency situation. And this, of course, is the state intervening and basically getting in the way of the family basically taking care of themselves. But if you put your child in a re-education camp, then you're kind of just asking for this stuff, to be honest with you. Schools just became even more dangerous as attack dogs are waiting for dissenters. And it goes on, it says the Washington Post reports that an honor roll student and 3 others at Northwestern High School in Maryland were recently suspended for their political activism. The public school system is now becoming a horrible microcosm of a wider society that is ready to stifle all forms of dissent and challenges to authority. It says here, this is nothing short of slave training to accept a police state waiting upon graduation, where of course many of them will go on to work, what, piddly-ass jobs, like at Walmart. So it's so important to get that brainwashing re-education degree to say that I've been squared, right? The top of my head has been made into a square, into an unnatural shape, as the Masons would say, right? So they've actually taken everything that was in there that was good, that was taught by your family, that was instinctive to you to protect yourself from people that try to do you harm, and nature that tries to do you harm, to say, well, oh, everybody's nice. It's a big utopia. You know, there's a video. You can go in there and check it out. Links will be posted. Children forced to shout, "Long live Sarkozy," when French president visited their school. And this is, of course, right after the false flag shooter there in France. And it says here that it was a propaganda tool. And it goes on and it says that some even kissed Mr. Sarkozy, who is hugely unpopular and widely expected to lose a presidential election, which is another reason for that false flag raid for counterfeit search. A misunderstanding, resident says. Remember, I just covered about this, about these raids just going in there for this crap, and then it's the wrong house. About 10 local and federal law enforcement officials search home. And it says here for fake hair irons. That's right. So went in there and descended as a SWAT team on the house. Investigate 2 men suspected as traffickers and counterfeit hair straighteners, which poorly made can pose significant safety hazards to consumers. Like they give a shit about your health and your safety. Going down here, says the electrical engineering graduate student said the raid gave his mother an anxiety attack, and law enforcement authorities called an ambulance to take her to the hospital. They attacked the house like they thought we had guns, like we were gang or gun running or something, he said. Michigan father killed in marijuana child removal incident. So it goes on there. It says that the prosecutor in northern Michigan has cleared the police officer who shot and killed a Grayling man as police and Child Protective Kidnapping Services employees attempted to seize his 3-year-old. They attempted removal of the minor child came after a police officer who came to the scene on a call earlier that day reported that he smelled marijuana. It's like most cops that are liars and plant drugs on people would say, I smell marijuana for probable cause. Reported the incident to the kidnapping authorities for the state, who decided the child needed to be kidnapped. The dead man, William Reddy, 32, becomes the 17th person killed in the U.S. domestic drug law enforcement operations so far this year. Police here were enforcing child protection kidnapping laws, not drug laws, but the only reason CPS was called was because of the allegation of marijuana use. So the guy was smoking some weed instead of pounding some vodka, and like I said, demands a raid to go in there. So it's here, federal agents kill man in phony murder for hire plot. So again, like everything else, they're the ones dealing the drugs. They're the ones dealing in terrorism. They're the biggest threat. So U.S. federal agents shot dead one of 4 men facing arrest in South Texas for being part of a murder-for-hire squad enlisted by undercover agents posing as Mexican drug cartel members. So it's just like that movie Collateral with Tom Cruise, right? Some bad dudes. I would not, if I was a federal government agent for the U.S., I would not want to be getting into this. I'd be like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this, dude. I'm not going to have no Russian mafia or Mexican mafia guys coming after me, dude, especially guys that they're hiring or special forces. It says here, judge acquits Hoodie militia members of conspiracy charges. So after all that, I think this guy right here was actually the informant, this dude right there. It goes on, it says they acquitted 7 Hoodie members of all conspiracy charges, concluding the government did not have enough evidence that the group plotted a violent revolt that included killing a police officer and bombing a funeral, and they're based out of what? Out of their trailer. So that's good news, because this whole thing was to crack down on, quote, patriots and militias and that. So it says here, class action lawsuit challenges NYPD patrols of private apartment buildings. It's called Operation Clean Halls, and it's a department's stop and frisk program that allows police officers to patrol thousands of private apartment buildings across New York City. And it just goes to show you how free we really are here. There are now more Americans in jail than there were in Stalin's gulag. Next up, drug lords targeted by Fast and Furious were FBI informants. Federal agents release alleged gun trafficker. Says here to help him find two Mexican drug lords, but the two were secret FBI informants. Then it says here, Fast and Furious probe, chief suspect released more than once. We have Christian doctors sacked for emailing a prayer to hospital colleagues to raise their spirits. And it goes on, it says he was also ticked off for sending a Christmas text to a colleague. Hospital told him such behavior was, quote, inappropriate. And I still have some news to get to, and it's just been getting backed up here, but hopefully on Friday I can finish up. This is GGN. Thank you.